Forget everything you've seen in the movies, right? And honestly, put aside all those sensational headlines cluttering up your news feed. Today, we're going to tear down pretty much everything you thought you knew about artificial intelligence. In this explainer, we're officially separating the science fiction from the actual science. We're going to strip away all that marketing hype and look under the hood to see exactly what this technology is, what it absolutely isn't, and why understanding that difference is literally the most valuable skill you can build right now.
Okay, let's dive right into this. If you take away just one thing, let it be this. Artificial intelligence is pattern recognition at scale. Nothing more, and honestly, in the domains where it really matters, nothing less. This single, undeniable truth is the absolute core of how AI works in our tech today. It's not magic, guys. It's definitely not a living, breathing mind. It's just a system built to look at massive, massive amounts of data and find connections that our human eyes simply can't see.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with that core truth of AI. Then we're going to systematically debunk 5 massive AI myths. After that, we'll look at how AI actually works under the hood, exactly where it beats humans, the exciting rise of AI agents, and finally, what the human-AI partnership really looks like. Let's kick things off with that first point, the core truth of AI, which, as we just mentioned, all boils down to pattern recognition. Now that we have that foundation, it is time to clear the slate and tear down the biggest myths people wrongly believe about AI. Starting with myth number 1, and this is a big one, the idea that AI actually thinks.
Spoiler alert, it absolutely does not. Look, when ChatGPT writes this beautiful, eloquent essay for you, it isn't sitting there pondering the topic. It's not considering counterarguments or weighing evidence to reach a thoughtful conclusion. It's really just calculating probabilities. Imagine a parrot, right? A parrot that has somehow listened to every conversation ever recorded in human history. It doesn't actually understand what it's saying, but it calculates which word is most statistically likely to come next. It predicts. It does not think. And this brilliantly illustrates a concept from the philosopher Daniel Dennett. He calls it competence without comprehension. An AI can display remarkable competence. I mean, it can write poetry, it can pass the bar exam, it can generate complex computer code, all without understanding a single thing it is actually doing. It's absolutely crucial to grasp this, because a thinking mind, a human mind, notices when something makes zero sense. A statistical prediction engine, it just can't. So let's break down the second big myth, the idea that AI actually understands things. If you ask a human, hey, if I put a cake in the oven and then go to the store, will it burn? Any human is going to say yes. Why? Because we have a mental model of reality. We intuitively understand physics, heat, baking, time, the whole shebang. But the AI, it has zero mental model of the physical world. It has literally never touched an oven. It gives you the right answer simply because it operates like a giant, superpowered magic 8-ball, predicting statistically likely text based on how often words like cake, oven, and burn show up together in its training data. Which brings us to dismantling another huge myth, AI infallibility. We've all heard the industry term hallucination, right? Like when an AI completely makes things up. But honestly, the word hallucination implies a human brain malfunctioning. Let's put that word on trial for a second and redefine it accurately. What is actually happening is just a prediction error. Because AI systems predict rather than genuinely know, they sometimes generate text that sounds completely statistically plausible, but is just factually dead wrong. And this isn't some super rare occurrence. Back in 2023, the AI company Vectara systematically measured these errors. They found that even the absolute best, most advanced models out there were wrong roughly 3% of the time. Now, okay, 3% might sound pretty small at first, but think about high-stakes fields for a second. If you're using AI to summarize a binding legal contract or recommend a critical medical treatment, a 3% error rate is an absolute disaster. I mean, would you take a drug if there was a 3% chance it was the completely wrong medication? No way. All right, so if it doesn't think, what is it actually doing? Let's pop the hood and look at how AI actually works. At its very core, modern AI is really just a giant mathematical function with billions of adjustable parameters. Think about it like you're trying to predict house prices. You'd probably make a little formula, right? Maybe size multiplied by the rate per square foot, plus a nice little bonus for a good location. Then you tweak those variables based on past sales. Well, large language models, or LLMs, do the exact same thing. But instead of predicting house prices using 2 or 3 variables, they are predicting the next word in a sentence using billions of parameters and trillions of data points.
So the crucial takeaway here is that the intelligence isn't really in the system itself. The intelligence is entirely in the massive amounts of data it was trained on.
But hey, let's balance the ledger here. Let's talk about where AI absolutely beats humans by finding those incredible patterns.
200 million. That number is staggering. For half a century, biologists were completely stumped by the incredibly complex problem of predicting the 3D shapes of proteins. It literally took humans decades to map out roughly 200,000 of them. And then, DeepMind's AI AlphaFold stepped onto the scene. In just a matter of months, it successfully predicted the structure of nearly every known protein in the human genome. That's approximately 200 million structures. And again, it wasn't reasoning this out. It was finding incredibly subtle statistical correlations in massive, high-dimensional datasets that no human brain could ever hope to process. And this gives us a crystal-clear AI success formula. Why did AlphaFold succeed? Why did its Stanford AI back in 2017 match board-certified dermatologists at spotting skin lesions? Or why does AlphaZero dominate game engines? Because they all share 3 key traits. First, massive search spaces that would completely exhaust a human. Second, clear success criteria, meaning a right answer objectively exists and can be verified. And third, abundant training data. When you have those 3 conditions met, AI is an absolute powerhouse. But when they're missing, well, that's when AI really struggles. Now, let's shift gears and look at the next big evolution in this frontier, the rise of AI agents, moving from simple prompts to autonomous action. Let's see how this builds into an entirely new workflow. You see, a standard chatbot just answers a prompt, but an agent acts on goals and actually uses tools. Imagine you tell an AI agent to prepare for your outdoor meeting tomorrow. It doesn't just spit out a weather summary. It checks your calendar autonomously. It checks the live weather forecast. It sees that it's going to rain, drafts an email to your client suggesting you reschedule, and queues the whole thing up for you. It's chaining multiple actions together using external tools to accomplish a specific goal. It's a massive leap in autonomy. Which naturally brings us to our final point, and really the ultimate takeaway here, the human-AI partnership and how we actually work together. When we put these two side by side, it really tells the whole story. As we've seen, AI absolutely excels at massive scale, lightning speed, endless consistency, and finding those hidden patterns in crazy high-dimensional data. But then look at the human side of the equation. We excel at judgment under uncertainty. We bring ethical reasoning to the table. We bring creative originality, and that absolutely crucial physical world understanding we talked about earlier. And most importantly, accountability. Think of a radiologist. A doctor who lets AI flag suspicious scans is going to review way more cases accurately, but the human doctor still has to make that final call. AI is an extraordinary tool for sure, but it is not a colleague. It vastly amplifies your human capability when used as a tool, but it will rapidly degrade your work if you try to use it as a complete substitute. So, I'm going to leave you with this provocative question to really chew on. As this technology continues to evolve from just predicting text to taking real autonomous actions, how are you going to navigate it? Are you relying on AI as a blind substitute for your own thinking, or are you partnering with it as an extraordinary tool to amplify your unique human judgment? Because the people who are going to truly thrive in the coming decade are the ones who understand both its breathtaking brilliance and its fundamental blind spots. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time as we keep breaking down the complex world around us